smoke when we all celebrate success. So now we, yeah, that's right, you know we, yeah, that's right, you know we, I thought I told you that we.
Hey guys, just a quick update. So I need to put this caliper back onto the carrier here. We took this off when we were moving the car to drop it off at the panel beater. So now the car's home, I need to jack it up and put this guy back on. Then this morning I was starting to do a bit of a stock take. So I've got these foam rubber inserts. I need some rubber. There's some rubber standoffs that slot in here that sort of cushion the bonnet on these standoffs. So I need to get these still. So basically the stock take is just to see what I have, what I still need to get a few jobs sorted. So obviously I've got this and this, I've got the full-size rain tray, I've got the leaf trap. That stuff still needs to go on. The drain plugs are in still. So there's the strut bar I fixed up in an earlier video. These are the rubbers I was talking about previously. They go in this way. See, they've got a nice lip here. So basically I'll run them along down these brake lines. These are actually fuel lines, but down the fuel lines and just stick them in there. And then they'll just cushion the fuel lines so they're not rubbing against the body down here. Same story here with the brakes. Slide them down, fit in there. So I'm just putting the stuff where they need to go so that we know. I still need to take this off to clean it. So we're going to get there. And then one of the things I'm going to tackle now, oh yes, these are the door handles, obviously, and the surrounds. So I'm just now looking for the screws that will attach the surround to the door itself. I'm busy trying to find all that stuff, guys. So these are various handbrake parts, these are the handbrake cables. These are the two handbrakes here. This is the mounting pin. So this guy will go through here like so. Like that. Let's turn it over. And then you've got this locking plate that'll go through the two grooves in the top and you push them down. And obviously this guy will go on top. This one is damaged, so I'm not going to use it. But this is just an example for you guys. So I'll show you in a second how the handbrakes work, and then I need to clean them up. I'm probably going to use this one. There's less to clean up. It really just needs a bit of a light touch up with some spray paint. So we'll see which one I use. Let's just get this out before I forget about it here. And I mentioned these earlier, well, in the previous video. These two items here cover the rear shock mounts at the top of the towers. Then I need to take these guys off. These are for the back seats. Take them off on both sides. So I'm going to mount this camera on a tripod quickly, and let's show you guys how the handbrake works. Be back in a sec. Hey guys, so here we have the three main components of the Mark 1 handbrake. Handbrake selector rod, handbrake handle itself, and the quadrant. So let's put these things together and I'll show you how they all work. So this is just your release handle. So now the hook at the end of this handle needs to accommodate like so. So now you'll see that little lever is moving when I push the handle in. Also the release button. Oh, that fell out. Okay, so let's get that back in place. Right. And now we have the quadrant. This is quite an important piece of this whole handbrake. Without this, it will not work. So there we go. Now it's all together, ready to go into the vehicle. So how does it work? Simple. If this was in the lower position in the vehicle and I wanted to put it up, I'd press this button, which will release this locking pin, and then you can pull the handbrake up and the quadrant will lock it in place again. So now that would be in the upward position, handbrake engaged. Remember, there's a metal plate here that the two handbrake cables bolt into, and that will determine when you pull it up the handbrake being on and when you release it back down. So if we were to release it down again, hit the button, releases that, and we're back down again. That's why it's important to press the button when you pull the handbrake up. You can give it a good yank, but it's better to press the button in, otherwise you're going to wear out the quadrant's teeth. Now, without this quadrant, like I mentioned, this is all useless. Nothing works, because without this little guy locking its teeth into the quadrant's teeth, nothing happens. Your handbrake handle is just going to keep falling down. Completely useless. Right. I'm going to give this thing a bit of a rub down. I want to get these stickers and things off. I'll use some methylated spirits and an old rag. Clean this up. I was going to paint it, but you know what? This gets covered with a leather boot and gets covered with a plastic cover here anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean this up. The place I bought it from, Bishop's, they engrave a lot of their parts, so I just need to spray that in. So I might give it a bit of a blast once I've got all this other stuff off. And then it's actually ready to go back into the vehicle. So I'll catch up with you guys when that's sorted. Hey guys, and we're back. I ended up giving this thing a blast with some high gloss black paint. Looks a lot better. I'm actually glad I did take the extra time just to give it a bit of a blast. Right, so here we are. Like I mentioned, this is the retaining clip. Sort of fits in there. Very snug fit. This could probably also do with a blast of paint. But that's, I mean, I could always redo the spare one later. I just don't have any way to hang them up and spray them at the moment. And this is something that's quick and easy. Once the car is finished, we can come back and have another look at this sort of thing. Okay, so these are cable guides that'll sort of feed the cable through here to the resting plate. So basically, let's put this thing in here like so. Feed it through. There we go. Right. Now I'm just going to orientate this locking pin here. Let's feed it through the handbrake. Get it straight, like so. So it's a very tight fit. This handbrake in place. You can see it's already moving the cables nicely. Just double checking it does actually fit the other side. Suddenly felt like it wasn't going to go through. There we go. Okay. And this locking pin. Now, the locking pin, this part, is from a more modern City Golf. So it's not 100% fit, but what I did want is just something factory that'll hold this whole thing together. So what I may need to do is modify this locking pin a little bit. I may need to take a screwdriver and just expand this a little bit, fit the part on, and then I'll knock it in with a hammer. Let's just see if I can do it without having to modify too much. Oh no, wait. There we go. There we go. That's perfect. It's not how it fits in the City Golf, but that's in there. Nice and tight. Now, this is where things are going to get interesting. So, these cables lined up properly. That's the one side. Oh yeah, guys, these nuts have a dome shape. This dome shape will fit into a recess on this clamp, like so. You then take another 10mm bolt and lock them in place. Now, I don't have those bolts right now, I need to still find them. So we're going to just put these on finger tight for now, just so that the handbrake assembly is mostly complete. I see why this is a problem, because this needs to be all the way down. Let's do the one side and then we'll get the other side going. Come on. Starts to bite and then it lets go. Let's try this other one here. Looking at this together, I'm going to need to come back. I just want to give this a quick clean. This is the Bishop's one, this has got the engraving, so I just want to give this a quick clean and paint. It looks, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but these older parts without paint look awful against the newly sprayed parts. Well, not awful, it just doesn't look complete. So I'll be back in a second, guys. Hey guys, we are back. I've sprayed this bracket now, got the one side on. I found that using a set of needle nose pliers to grip the back of the handbrake cable is making things a bit easier. I say a bit because I also had to modify the hard point in the body, remembering that I'm trying to fit modern City Golf parts to 1980s body, and there are some modifications that need to be made along the way, unfortunately. So we're picking that up as we go along. I guess it's going to be a lot of that. So now with the one side on, now the other side doesn't want to play nicely. See, that just gives me a little bit more control. When I say that, I mean using needle nose pliers. There we go, that should be better. Because now I can actually grip the cable. Sorry guys, it's not the easiest camera angle to get. I need to get a shorter tripod, it seems, for these in-car shots. Come on, guy. There we go. There we go. It's starting to bite. No, it's not starting to bite. All I can say, guys, ratchet spanners for the win. If you don't have a set of these things, get them. They're worth every cent. They just make a finicky job like this, especially in tight places where you don't have a lot of maneuvering room, a hell of a lot easier. Now the trick here is going to be to get this thing to go on straight. Because obviously you want this thing to be straight so that when you pull the handbrake cable up, both back brakes engage equally. So let's get this fair amount of thread on first, and let's see where we are. Well guys, that's the handbrake in. It's not working. I think there's a piece missing. My concern is it's at a piece there at the bottom. The manuals tend to refer to it as an anchor point. I have a feeling I'm going to have to take this whole thing out and weld a bar across. I'm going to do a bit more research and try to figure that out. But yeah, that's a bit of a bummer, because I need this to work before I can do any serious work on this car, so I'm going to have to make a plan quite quickly. In other news, I found my samples of these, I suppose you'd call them bonnet guides. So basically this part here will slide into that open spot on the bonnet, or rather on the repair wing and in the fender. These are old and hard, so they don't really fit, but you kind of get the general idea. Let's stick this one over here. So now when you slam the bonnet, you'll see this step over here will rest on this rubber here. So I may end up needing to import these. I'm going to have to clean them up and see if there's a part number on them. It doesn't really look like it, but I'm hoping that someone like Pro Auto Rubber has something like this. I would prefer to use the correct part, obviously, so I'm going to go see my guy at VW tomorrow to get some, it's actually the choke cable for this car. Picking that up tomorrow. So we'll chat to him and I'll take these along with me. Let's just stick these over here. Alright, so I'm a bit hesitant to jack the car up without anything but a rock holding the car back. So this handbrake issue, this issue could start to create a bit of a delay here. But anyway, let's move on. I'm going to yank this thing and this thing out. I'll be back with you guys in a second. Well, she will look good. This is not bolted in, guys. This is just slid onto the body. So when she's in the proper position, it will look a lot better, obviously. I thought I had the bolts, but they weren't the right bolts. So I'm going to need to size these up and go get some replacements. The one downside is I've got parts, literally I got this box, this box, this box, and all of that stuff down there, so I need to just actually get the wife in here to sort out all the Christmas stuff, and we need to get those boxes out and get cracking with finding all the missing parts. But guys, I'm afraid, I'm sorry, I was hoping to have a better update for you. Working handbrake, get that caliper back on. It might actually be fine to jack the car up. I might have another stab at it just now. Put the thing on axle stands and hope for the best. I would have preferred to have a working handbrake though, just to lock these back wheels up. You know, just for safety's sake. Hey guys, we're back. I've done the necessary reading now, and there's no getting around this. I'm going to have to modify this hard point to have, there's supposed to be like a standoff or a pin that the bottom of the quadrant locks into, and in the spring at the top here creates the tension when you lift and release. Right now, if I press that spring and lift up the handle, the quadrant falls straight down. So I'm going to have to do some modifications here. It's what I suspected this afternoon, but I just spent the afternoon double checking and there's no getting around that. So I decided I can't let one thing delay me. So I've jacked the car up. I've taken the front wheel off. We're going to put this caliper back on. I need to have a look at tightening up this ball joint as well. So this is on finger tight. What I need to do, what you normally do is you put a spanner in here and bolt this up. This ball joint's a little bit different. I have to somehow push this down to create tension here so that I can thread this up. So I'm not going to try that tonight, although I may have to leave the wheel off. I need to do both sides. I need to do a bit more reading to try and figure that one out. The standard ones, like I say, you don't need to do that. No matter what I do, I can't, there's nothing here to grip on. It's a rounded, threaded bolt down here. So, yeah, I need to make a plan there. So, for now, what we're going to do is I'm going to zap the camera on a tripod. I'm going to try and get an angle from the inside of the engine bay to show what I'm doing on the caliper. So just give me a few minutes to set up. Okay, hopefully that should be a decent enough angle. So, let's get going. I'm going to put the complete caliper on. It's a number 17 spanner. Set it to tighten. Again guys, ratchet spanners. These things make your life a hell of a lot easier. Makes these jobs quicker as well. So, this is the extension that Norbrake made to push the calipers out, so to take these bigger discs. These are 256mm discs, sort of Golf 3 spec. Overkill for my City Golf, but sure, what happened there? It will give the car sufficient stopping power when I need it. More than sufficient, actually. Right. Okay. Now, I did meet a guy who's made his own calipers, not calipers, extensions. And his are amazing. So I must actually ask him if he's ever going to consider producing them en masse, because they really did look fantastic. Machined nicely, exactly to spec. You could take them and put them on any City Golf carrier, and that would be an instant upgrade right there. Come on. one's in. Bottom one is being a little bit stubborn. There we go. Okay, we're in. Right. Now, top one I'm going to get away with the ratchet. Yep, top one will be good. Bottom one, I'm going to have to switch to a socket. So let's just get this guy nice and tight. Maybe, no, definitely I need a socket. Okay, that's good. Final tighten, and we're good. So, for those wondering, the tools that I use are Mastercraft, and that's number 18. I want to replace these bolts and the washers, simply because these are really old. I've replaced every other bolt here. So these guys, although they were fine, I would like to change them, but back to the tools. So I'm using Mastercraft. I bought a toolkit, jeez, when was that? Like 2004. And with the exception of a few bits and pieces, so like torque wrenches, a couple of different types of side cutters and snips, it had pretty much everything I need to work on cars, and I've been working on them for quite a while. Obviously my own vehicles. I don't do this professionally or anything, but yeah, they have a lifetime warranty. If you damage them with normal usage, take it back to the supplier with your proof of purchase, swap it out, no questions asked, they'll replace it. Be back in a sec, guys. We'll go get this wheel back on. There are other things that I wanted to do tonight. None of them will be very interesting, it's mostly just admin and that kind of thing. So guys, we're going to leave it here. This was an important thing. I know we didn't finish the handbrake, but I was really worried of two things. One, I was missing pieces, which now we've learned I am. Two, that the locking pin, or rather the locking plate for the pin, I was worried that that wasn't going to fit properly. Now we know it does. So that's going to make taking that handbrake out, although it's going to kill me, at least we know everything I need to put the handbrake in once we've fixed and sorted out that, that mounting pin. Once that's sorted, we know everything can go in, and then I'll have a working handbrake. Right now I've got a big chunk of sleeper wood and a big rock. That's not ideal. Obviously, my property runs at a slope. If this thing rolls out the garage, it rolls down the garden through a wall into my neighbor's driveway. And that's not good. He's got kids that play in the yard. It's not safe for my vehicle, it's not safe for other people. So I need to get this handbrake thing sorted quite quickly. I don't have a welder and I don't know how to weld, so that's a problem. I'm going to need to either rent a welder and get someone who knows how to weld to help me, or I'm going to have to make some other plan. I don't really want to tow this vehicle somewhere, someone's going to have to come here. So I'm going to be shopping around. We're probably going to have to get some beers to bribe someone, but we'll deal with that in the coming week, I guess. If possible, I know we're busy next weekend, but if possible I'd like to get it sorted before the end of March. So wish me luck, guys, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Hi guys, thanks so much for watching. If you want to see more and be kept up to date, please follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and subscribe to my channel. With your help we can get this project complete and move on to the next one. Bye for now.